And now it's time for the Manic Mark Show.
Manic Mark. Manic Mark. The Manic Mark Show. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, doot. There you go. That was pretty exciting. Howdy, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath our villa found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. Today it's record day. 3 records. That's it. A plumbing question. I got a plumbing question, and that's going to be the big deal today. I was going to finish up the medicine cabinet. I'm restoring the medicine cabinet. I'm going to show you that. But the glass, I had a glass company in town cut me glass $35 for just 4 shelves, okay? And they were 7/8 of an inch short. Now, I don't know if it was my fault. The numbers were written down right on my paper, but when I talked to the guy on the phone, somehow the 7/8 got translated to an 1/8. So they're going to cut them again, but I don't know. I have to pay for them anyway. So, anyway, I try to combine trips, so it's okay. Anyway, there you go. Now, on to the plumbing thing. So, I showed you the deal the other day with the plumbing thing. Well, I got that thing, and I'm going to show it to you. Close up, here it is. It's the Dragon. I'm going to hook this up to a propane tank, so the cold water's cold, but the hot water is propane, and it lights on fire and singes the hair off your... Anyway. Okay, so here's this. Now, when I bought it on eBay, and there are people sell new faucets like this, but this is not like the new faucets. This is well made. It's a very good casting. Okay, very expensive when new. Everything is well made, and now it's not an antique, although it could be, 20 years old. Like the Repro Victorian faucets I have on the sink that I'm going to put these on now. You can't find anywhere, and they're not antiques, but they're 25 years old. Anyway, I took these apart, and the stems look okay. The washers were all worn down. I took them out. They're standard washers, right? So basically, these are the feed lines that go from the stem, which would go in here, that would hook into this piece right here, okay? This little piece right here. Like that. And I think these are all standard, although I haven't checked it, but the thread looks standard. Anyway, the thread looks standard. I hope the diameter's standard. Okay. What is weird about this thing is that this thing goes through the center hole in the pedestal sink, okay? That's how this works. That will go through the center hole in my antique pedestal sink, and the stems go on each side. So there's 3 holes, so the stems, the faucets, go on 3 sides. Now, you know it wasn't an antique because it came with this, which is a device which I believe controlled the trap, so you could plug the sink up and fill it up with water, okay? This sink doesn't have that. It's not going to be used. But, okay, so the deal, I know this is so damn complicated, isn't it? The deal is that there is a center shaft inside of the main shaft, all right? So the plungy thing goes right through the center where the water comes up. Basically, there's a shaft inside the water where the water blends together when it comes through here, all right? This all looks like it's original, yes? This little piece looks like it seats up inside of this piece, but I have to take it apart. Maybe I'll cut this part out. Then I'll get it unscrewed pretty fast. But, so you can see it better. So this comes off. You can see the shaft inside this. So the water's going up into here. Not into here, into here. Hot and cold through here, water goes up in here. But look, this doesn't screw. It's only got a 1/8 of an inch lip at best. It doesn't screw into this, okay? So the only thing I can think of was there a washer in here, and then this thing that I took off, this has an O-ring in it, which is another giveaway that this is modern. All right. But it's loose. It doesn't, even if I would turn it around, then it would be tight. And then it just butts right up against it. So it's going to leak. One way or another, through the top or through the bottom, even though there's no pressure in here, water's going to sit in there and it's going to leak. I have no idea. What, you know, this thing here is just to tighten it up against the bottom of your sink, which is about, going to be about that thick. Okay, so now how do I solve this problem? Because none of this is 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch, these threads aren't standard, all right? And I don't know if this centerpiece, it's threaded the same, I think, as this. But my idea was to find a fitting that would screw into this that I could solder a pipe onto, that I can take all the way down to a T, which I can cap. And on the inside of this, I can buy a cap to cap this off, right? That is my plan, to buy a cap to cap this off, which, depending on where I put this, wouldn't affect the flow of the water through the thing, okay? But not 3/4 inch. It's not 1/2 inch, it's not 3/4 inch, and the thread pattern's tighter. It's much tighter than anything that I know of that's standard. Anyway, it has been threaded in up here. This piece has been threaded in up here inside. I don't want to take that apart. I think that's a mistake to try to take that apart. So I don't want to do that, and I want to work with this. I don't know if this would, I guess you don't even want that to come out. That's got to be all. That needs to stay. Anyway, so any ideas? That's my question. Any ideas on how to resolve that? I guess one question is anybody out there smart enough to know, and I'm going to go to a plumbing supply house in town, got a recommendation, going to go place down in the industrial areas, you know, which probably would have, or at least they would have recommendations. Anyway, but does anyone out there know now whether or not, if I would search for parts, what would I search for? What kind of keywords would I use? Thread pattern, or you know, I don't know. So that's what I'm looking. I'm looking for one of these that's just a fitting that goes on like 3/4 inch with a 3/4 inch fitting, piece of pipe that goes onto this. So something different that would tee and be sealed on the bottom, that I could put a pipe on that would slide over this whole assembly and thread into this for a tight fit. Anyway, that's what I'm working with on that. Okay, now on to the records. It's record time.
It's record time. It's record time.
Hey, it almost sounds like my regular voice.
It's record time. It's record time. It's record time. It's record time.
There you go. Oh my God. Okay, just 3 records. Let's get done with. It's the night I got saved from Georgia. No, it's not. The night I just got saved. It's local. I picked it up because there's some great photographs on the back of sort of the country bluegrass thing that's going to be happening when I listen to this record. Piano strings and Moonlight Dave. What the hell is his real name? Gershon. Look at that. Look at that G. That doesn't look like a G, does it? Don't think it does. I have no idea. The back. It's an interesting story on the back of the album. That he says it's a Moog Music album. That's fine. My Funny Valentine's on it. He's a pianist. But what's interesting about the whole story in the back is the woman on the front. He just married, okay, in 1962, and I can't. Is there a date on this album? I don't see it. Anyway, that's his wife, and he wrote a song in tribute to her called Sarah Jane. Isn't that sweet? I wondered if she ever drove him crazy, or, you know, maybe he did something bad and, you know, drove her crazy. or they stayed together happily ever after. I don't know. Anyway, and last but not least, it's an album on Verve with an odd-looking cover titled Shades of Today, Pat Williams. Wraparound photograph of a bunch of women in, I guess they're in dresses, looking sort of like bored. They're all bored. They look like they're all sort of bored, and they're just, it's a very odd photograph. There is a cover of Eleanor Rigby on this album. Cinnamon and Clove. Cinnamon, what the hell was the name? Bubble was a cheerleader. And Shades. The title track Shades. But who did the album? Arranged and conducted by Pat Williams. Pat, it says it right there, doesn't it? Pat Williams. So who's Pat Williams? I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Help me with the plumbing thing.
Help me with my plumbing question.
Question of the day.
How do I fix this goddamn plumbing thing?
Oh man, I like the sparkly hose on this one. I like the sparkly hose. Remember the sparkly hose trend way back in whenever this was, whatever the day was when this was a thing. Is there a date on here? Verb? Does it say so? I'm pretty sure I'll just feature something. Although I know you're dying to hear what Sarah Jane sounds like. I'm just thinking the bored women sitting in the living room album is probably going to be, you know, more interesting somehow, I think.